Hey, good afternoon, everybody. My name is Jimmy McCarthy, and I am the CTE Success Coordinator for South Plains College. The STAR Center has asked me to help y'all with some resume writing and some interviewing skills. And so the first presentation I'm going to do is resume writing. I'm going to show you what a resume looks like for like an office assistant job, and then I'm going to go over a few things of not to do for writing a resume. So I apologize in advance for any stuttering, any mishaps, or anything like that. I know we're all just trying to figure out how to navigate through all this stuff and learn all this online stuff. So anyway, if you need anything from me, I would give you my office number, but of course we are not at the office anymore. But my number, my email address is right here, jmccarthy@southplainscollege.edu, and I would be happy to give you my cell phone number or anything that you need if you need help with your resume. And I know that anybody else at the college would be more than happy to help you as well. So with that in mind, let's just kind of get started and go through this. Okay, writing a resume can be a daunting task. It may even seem harder for students who often have very limited work experience. So, how do you learn how to write a resume that gets noticed despite your lack of work history? Really, I can't stress this strongly enough. You want to create a resume that is very clean, that is very neat and accurate, and doesn't have a lot of wording, and they can look over it and skim it and just be done with it, because they're not going to spend a lot of time on looking at your resume. So let's go ahead and go forth. Okay. What to do on your resume when applying for a job. First of all, you really need to look at the job description, and what you're going to do is apply those skills from the job description to your resume. Your resume should be neat, well written, well organized, and highlight skills that are relevant to the job you are applying for. So, for example, if you're applying for a job as an office assistant, you want to highlight your computer skills using the key terms such as you know how to order and track supplies. You know how to do equipment maintenance, such as, the copier. What are you going to do if the copier breaks down? You can maintain cleanliness. You can prepare for company meetings by setting up projects, seating arrangements, arranging calendars. You're good at Word, you're good at Excel, you're good at making PowerPoints, you're good at organizing. Speaking on the telephone, sorting through mail. Those are skills and key terms that you should use in your resume, because those are the key skills that the employer is going to be looking for. Okay, here's another job description right here, and job descriptions will come in all forms of formats. So just you want to look and to make sure that you are looking at the key skills. Like right here, it's asking your key task right here. Assist the office manager and office administrator in day-to-day procedures. You're going to be able to answer the telephone. You are going to be able to input and update student data. Right here, you're going to be counting money. So you might put on your list of key skills that you're good with money. You know how to go to the bank. You know how to fill out a deposit slip. Those things are going to be absolute key to like this job right here. Absolute discreetness, that you can be discreet, that you can keep confidential files and things. Okay. So, keywords for an office admin job resume. You might want to go through and look at like something like this and see which verbs they use and use those in your key terms. All right. Like prepare, design. You can file and retrieve documents, answer and manage incoming calls. If you're going to be an administrative assistant, it's pretty good that you know how to answer a phone, how to speak to people on the phone, how to take a phone message, and things like that. Okay, so here is a lot of things not to do. I know we're spending time on things that we shouldn't be doing, but sometimes when you know what to do and then when you don't know what to do, that's where you can go. And we'll talk about how to organize your resume in just a minute. You don't want a resume that lacks focus and doesn't grab the reader's attention. Employers screen resumes for as few as 6 seconds. And really, as someone who has reviewed a lot of resumes, they don't read them word for word. When we are looking at resumes, we want to just see those keywords like I just talked about a few minutes ago. And we want to make sure that the person that we are interviewing has what we are looking for. It talks right here, to sharpen your resume's focus, include a summary at the top underneath your header. And we'll talk about that in just a minute. But this draws the reader in and showcases your greatest abilities and talents right up front. Okay, your resume is boring. Everything on your resume should be accomplishment driven. Okay, you don't lie on a resume. You might embellish a little bit, but don't lie on your resume. There's nothing worse than hiring somebody and they can't do what you're asking them to do. They have no idea. Okay, so if you don't have data-driven information or specific numbers to highlight in your accomplishment, focus on things like, for example, having a reputation for working successfully with previously unhappy clients. So if you're trying to get a job as a customer service rep or at Dillard's or at Bell's or somewhere in the mall or something like that, you want to be customer friendly. Okay? Avoid using terms such as duties included or responsibilities included or responsible for. Those are just lengthy words. We want to be short, concise, and to the point. Okay, your resume is unorganized. There's nothing worse than looking at a resume that is not organized. So here, right here, and I'm going to show you an example of a neatly organized resume. Oops, let's go back. Nope, we want to go back. Bear with me here. Okay, the last thing you want is a resume that is unorganized. Here you should organize your resume by the following. You want a header with contact information. That's your name, your address, your phone number, your email. Okay, don't put your social security number on your resume. Used to, back in the day, you would put your social security number on there, but you don't want to do that. You want a summary statement. If you're having trouble coming up with a summary statement, Google summary statements. I mean, you can Google anything and find all kinds of stuff on there about summary statements. That's what I usually do if I'm having a hard time helping somebody with a summary statement. Okay, so then you want your key skills and your technology section, your work experience section, and your education section. Okay, and so when you're listing in your work experience section, what's generally most important is your title position. So the order should be your title, position, the name of the employer, city, state of employer, and dates of employment. Listing dates first is also a mistake for resumes placed in employers' application tracking systems. Okay, since you are going to be newly graduated students, you want your education section should follow the same principle. Name of your degree, fully spelled out, name of major, name of university, city, state of university, and in your case, South Plains College, graduation year, and other information, such as your minor or your GPA. Generally, brand new graduates list education first, while job seekers with a few years of experience are listed first. Okay. Oops, I did it again, you guys. I did it again. Hold on. Okay, here we go. Here is an example of a resume, just very, very simple, very clean, very neat. And someone would look at this and be like, okay, here we go. Look, we have Anthony Young. It has his address, it has his phone number, and his email. Please don't forget to put your email and your phone number, because how else is somebody going to get a hold of you? All right, committed and motivated office assistant with exceptional customer service and decision-making skills, strong work ethic, professional demeanor, and great initiative. Proficient at quickly learning new procedures and taking ownership of diverse projects. Okay, so there's his summary. Here are all of his skills right here. Okay, and then here's his experience right here, and then here's his education. If you're just coming out of college, you should really only have a one-page resume, where somebody like myself who has had several years, 20 plus years, 28 years in education, I'm going to have 2 pages. Now, even though I can make up more than 2 pages, I don't want to, because nobody wants to look at more than a 2-page resume, I promise. So, something very neat, very clean, very simple. And I actually believe that this is a template that you can find in Word, and it is absolutely for free. So if you just go to a Word document, and in fact, if we just well, I thought I could show you, but this program won't let me. Okay, so if you go to Word and go to templates, you can find a resume template. Okay. All right. You don't want your resume to be outdated. Like, really, I would put like 15 years of job experience. Any more than that, you don't really want. Even though if you're an older student, I would just really focus on the fact that you are just a student coming out and you've got a new skill. So don't put like high school jobs or anything like that, unless it was in the last maybe 5 years. Okay. All right. You don't want a resume that doesn't highlight the right skill. I can't stress this to you enough, and I know I keep saying that throughout this, but when a job posting lists specific skills required for a given job, be sure to feature those skills prominently in the key skills section of your resume. So go back and look at the job description and look at the key skills and make sure your skills match. Okay? How many skills should you list on a resume? If there are specific skills that are relevant to your field or the job you're applying for, always list them in the skills section if you have them. All right, your resume is not reader-friendly. It's easier to read a resume that uses bullet points in the skills and work experience section. Use separate bullet points for each accomplishment or skill, and remember to ask yourself, how is this relevant? Okay, your resume has no key words. Again, you have to put the keywords in there. You really do, because if an employer is using a database for keywords, they're going to send your resume through this program, and it's going to pick up on your resume. And I'm going to tell you, for example, when I applied for this job at South Plains College, I looked at the job description, and I knew that I needed to have CTE experience. I needed to have higher education experience. I knew that I needed to have experience working with high schools, counselors, principals, and superintendents. And I had all of those things. So those were the key things that I listed on my resume. And that's how my resume got picked out of the hundreds of the people that actually applied for my job. So I can't stress to you enough, again, to use those key skills. All right, references. Now, this is very important. You shouldn't list specific references directly on your resume. List them on a separate sheet, and even them, submit them only when specifically requested by an employer in a job ad. Okay? On resumes, you want to be careful and make sure the person that you do list as a reference knows that you are using them as a reference and not anything else. There's nothing worse than somebody calling to check references and the person they've called, they don't know you've listed them as a reference, or maybe they don't really like you, or maybe, you've had a falling out. But you really, really, really need to make sure that the person that you are listing as a reference knows that you use them as a reference. Okay, your resume is not the right length. Remember when I said you don't need more than 1 to 2 pages. And if you're coming out of college, you really, really, really just need to keep it to 1 page. And very simple, very clean. All right, your resume is not properly formatted. There are tons of templates out there, and there are tons of resume templates to use. But I can't stress this to you enough, and I know I keep saying that, but really you should always proofread your resume for correct spelling and grammar to ensure all the information is true and that it is very clean, it is very neat, and it's formatted properly, and none of the margins are off or none of the bullets are off. You need to make sure that it's properly formatted. Have somebody proofread your resume. Send it to me through an email. Send it to the folks at the Star Center. There are tons of people who'd be willing to give your resume a once look over and give you helpful suggestions. Don't send out an unedited, unlooked at, unproofed resume. That's really, really bad. Okay. Some resume examples of resumes. If you just Google, and like I said, Google, you can Google anything, y'all know that, but if you just Google resumes or resume for whatever job you're seeking, you can find them. Here's a good one right here, the buzzwords, resume buzzwords, like key skills to be specific. And then this, I say it's a free website builder, a resume builder, but honest and truly, I think it charges $2.95, and that's not bad. All you have to do is input the information and it will help you. Okay, I hope that y'all got some good information out of this, and I know it's really quick and I know it's really strange, but I would much rather be talking in front of y'all, but unfortunately, we all have to stay home. But like I said, please send me an email. I'll be more than happy to chat with you on the phone. I'll give you my cell phone number or whatever you need. I'll go back to the first slide and tell you my name's Jimmy McCarthy. I'm J McCarthy at southplainscollege.edu, and I'd be more than happy to help you with your resume, or if we go back to school, you can come over to my office or I can come over to the Star Center. But thank you for listening, and I hope it wasn't too bad, and y'all stay safe out there. Thank you very much.